Mortal Kombat. Guys, let's get into it. Welcome to Mirror Domains, and this is my full live watch along for Mortal Kombat 1995. Guys, if you haven't seen this movie, it's a classic. It's a retro movie, and that's what we do here on the channel on Thursdays is we watch retro movies, and I'm going to be starting this week putting up a poll every Thursday for you guys to vote for which movie we should watch next. And I think next week it's either going to be Universal Soldier or the original Candyman or Arnold Schwarzenegger's Total Recall. Yeah, I think we'll choose from those three. I'll put up a poll on the community tab that you guys will be able to vote in. So if you missed this week, don't worry. Each week we'll put up a poll for you guys to vote for a retro movie for us to watch. And hope you guys can join us. Now, depending on what streaming service and what time period, because these movies switch around. Right now it's on Crave, HBO there in Canada, their version of HBO. And let's just get into this movie. If you haven't watched one of these from me before, guys, you know that I can't show you the entire image here on the side due to copyright reasons. But I'll do my best with my little tips and tricks to let you know where I'm at within the episode so you guys can follow along with your copy there at home. So with that being said, I'm just going to hit play and we'll get into Mortal Kombat 1995. Oh. So, guys, it also has a lot of music, so, you know, I'm going to have to be a little bit careful here with the music, right? And Mortal Kombat. Yeah, it just starts off with a bang, right? Dun 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 dun. Shang Tsung. Yeah. Okay, so in case for some reason that I leave the audio on a little bit too long, guys, don't worry. I'll fix it in post and post it up later. Just means that I have to mute that little section. But I don't think I will. But this does have a lot of music in it. The soundtrack for this movie was awesome. Yeah. So this is the brother of Liu Kang, right? Our Glass Vikings in the live chat says this is one of the last movies I issued at the video store I worked at. I still have timestamp preview VHS. Really?
You will be next.
Yeah, Kerry, the actor here, he does a good job. He hams it up. Yeah, he hams it up. But it's not too over the top. I mean, it's very quotable what he does, right? There's Liu Kang. And I thought this casting was pretty good too. Brother dead, it says. Oh, Hong Kong. Okay, so this is Jax and Sonya.
Jax, you're talking to her.
Yeah, her acting is a little bit meh, but she's not a bad actress. This, I think I heard that she was brought on very late into the production because originally I think it was supposed to be Cameron Diaz playing Sonya Blade in this movie, which would have been very interesting.
She's here. Right on time.
Kano. Yeah. And I like that
Mr. Shang Tsung.
they did his eye properly. Yeah, she's going to follow you. Are you doing a movie news show today or not, Chris Schober? Maybe this afternoon.
Maybe me and Sonya should share
so much as touch him, Kano.
I like how his eye twitches there. But, you know, at least Shang Tsung is saying there that he wants to still follow the rules, right, of Mortal Kombat, because it's important to him so he can invade Earth, right? Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa always plays the bad guy. He was more of a playboy in Rising Sun. Yeah. Where's Kano? Ah, here we go. What a fantastic intro, too. This is a great intro for Johnny Cage. I prefer the Australian Kano. Sunglasses.
Let's dance.
Now, Lyndon Ashby here, I don't think was a martial artist, was he? But he pulls out the fights pretty well. I like how the guy's kind of like, whew.
Now.
Yeah, this is where you fall down. Now, I think this guy's supposed to be like a Steven Spielberg ripoff, right? Yeah, that's definitely Spielberg, right? Yeah. So everybody's getting recruited here, and it's moving rather fast, right? Yeah, he did karate. Okay. Like back then, studios didn't understand. He was a huge character. People really resonated with him. He should have been elevated in the second movie. Johnny Cage is a fake.
Hi, Johnny.
Master Boyd.
The tournament is held
So
once
in a generation.
a generation.
Give respect. See how quickly they established his character too, right? Of course, we know that this is Shang Tsung. Morphs. So I'm glad that they're at least using Shang Tsung's one power there. Actually, he uses a couple of his powers in this, right? And I think I remember seeing on a documentary somewhere of like the making of this movie that they were actually very lucky to get to be able to film at this location. But I think, I don't know, great location, obviously, right? Because I think it was they didn't have the money for it or something like that. And yeah. Brief.
After this.
Okay, so I like how it also called out here too, kind of like, you really mean that there's just a tournament that decides the fate of the universe? Really? So I like that angle. They kind of glossed over that in the newer version, right? Christopher Lambert definitely had a good voice for it. And I like his skepticism. I like Liu Kang's skepticism in it, right? He doesn't fully believe it all. I think this is the only move we get to see Raider do, right? And it's just kind of like a parry move.
Why did you protect him?
And I hope Mortal Kombat 2, when it comes out, it moves this fast getting to the tournament, right? Or at least them getting on the way to the tournament. And the soundtrack really helps move the pace, right?
You're Arlene, aren't you?
Yeah.
Listen, you can't fake those moves.
Yeah, well.
It's a good tempo score. Yeah, it is. Because it's got that beat to it, right?
I got it.
At least he takes it with some humor, right?
Oh, thank God I didn't ask him to park the car.
But is this showing that he comes from money? He comes from that higher class mentality. It's a boat. What does it look like? Very old school boat. I like how the dragon thing sort of looks like the thing for the logo, right?
Come to Papa.
Come to Papa. Unfortunately, I think that guy, the actor who played Kano in this, passed on, right? He had a heart condition or something, right?
Hey, Sonya!
And that's unfortunately the last time we see Jax in this movie. Yeah, the dropping of the bag was a great scene. It hooked me in to the characters. Yeah. Actually, a lot of this boat scene really sets up a lot of the characters too. They like most of this stuff really does move fast.
Rough?
No, do you?
Any drawing on them?
Struck fan, huh?
So I guess maybe Johnny was going to try to sort out Liu Kang there for being a butthead about the bags. I think this was supposed to be like a nod towards the pit, right? Or one of the pits with the hanging chains and stuff.
Shang Tsung, at your service. Hey, be nice to the lady.
Okay, here we go. Sub-Zero.
Got that radio?
Scorpion. And they explain it in this one, right? Why they're together? Deadliest of enemies. Yeah. So they explain why they're on the same team in this one, right? Actually, if the lighting on it was just a little bit better, it would still kind of hold up, right? But it was just cool to see them, right? I think I played Sub-Zero a lot in the first one. No, I played Scorpion a lot in the first one. It wasn't until the third one that I started to play Sub-Zero more. Yeah, that's right.
Your sideshow freaks attack.
Until we reach the island where you have no dominion.
My dominions are well known to me, sorcerer. Thank you.
Thank you.
What?
You've been chosen, Sonya.
Much to my delight.
The audio on him must have been hard to get through because he almost whispers his lines sometimes, right? Like, oh, that looks cool. I wonder would a digital remaster of this help the lighting? Well, it was the rendering on the actual spear. So now we get some exposition as to what the tournament is. Here we go.
Your enemy, or your quest for revenge.
Of Earth.
Was crowned himself emperor. Now he seeks a new world to conquer and enslave.
Yeah. Now, I wish they just expanded a little bit on that and said a tournament decreed by the gods, right? That he said it was for 10 tournaments, but why 10? Why not 5? If they just gave us a little bit more information, it would help tie in some other things, right? Says into their souls and yours.
The fate of billions will depend upon you.
Sorry. Yeah. Now that's whimsy, right? That's a directing choice. I don't know if Christopher Lambert wanted to do that himself or not. Like that was ad-libbed in there. But I like that. The fate of billions will depend upon you. It has begun. Like, this was 1995, and it was like just at the beginning of the cusp of when digital effects were really starting to take over, right? When they were trying to push the limits of what they could and couldn't do. And we'll see that more when we see Reptile later on. But like stuff like this, I think was traditional animation mixed in. That's a cool shot. Let's see if I can get that bigger. Yeah. Now, back then, everybody was still calling him Christopher Lambert, but it's actually Christophe Lambert. And I didn't know that until, like, what, last year?
Call my agent.
The agent.
Do I look like your secretary?
But the location and scouting in this was pretty good, right? They got that temple, they got this beach, this island here. Sands. Little comedy. Face plant. So the compass is all going wonky. What legend? If I was told the fate of billions lay on my shoulders, I'd probably hurl. And I think maybe that's why they're also trying to play the angle of believability. Are you sure? Really? A tournament? Okay, so we got some digital matte paintings here. Digital matte paintings have come a long way, right? and they used it sparingly here for that, right? Like that didn't look great. That is not the worst from the 90s that I've seen. The worst CG like that, hands down, goes to Spawn, right? That huge demon at the end was so laughable. You can't watch it now. It's just kind of like, what the heck were you guys thinking? You thought you could go like that? But at least with this movie, it was a nice mixture of practical stuff, right? As I said, it was just on that cusp of them trying to explore what they could and couldn't do with digital and the computers at the time, right? So Liu Kang is like giving her the eyes. Raiden wasn't allowed in there. Sub-Zero. I like this move that Sub-Zero does here. It's like his opening stretch. Just the way that he moves. So they clear out all the food. Great sound good. There's something poetic about it, right? Of course, this guy warms up traditionally, trying to get loose. Now, this version of Sub-Zero would have gone on to become Noob Saibot, right? One move. Frozen. Just like that. Trying to work in sayings from the game there, so that's a thumbs up in my book, right? Alfred Hobbit in the live chat says, hey, how's it going? They're all acting shocked. But he pointed Raiden. They've set up their weaknesses too, right? Their quest for displaying their power, the quest for vengeance, the quest for justice kind of thing. There's our first look at the hand of Goro.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't need your help.
Yeah. It's a guy thing. Yeah. The pit. Yeah. So it was cool that we see it, but we just don't get to see anybody fight on it, right? That's probably just a visual effects thing. right? Goro. Of course, why would Goro just walk around the halls going, ah, ah? Do you do that in your house?
One-on-one, man-to-man, hand-to-hand.
Yeah.
Just like my... Almost lost my lunch.
So there's a real first good look at Goro.
A treasure of these moments.
He's like, what the heck? 4 arms.
His favor. Those who challenge his power become his slave.
You fool. And I like how that changed. He was, Ken was scared of him at first, but now he's just trying to.
Something like underground.
He's trying to posture himself here, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of an underworld boss myself. The animatics, I think they're pretty good for back then.
No dignity, no manners.
Well, if you don't mind. Now, when do I get paid?
Okay. He has plans for Sonya. Yeah, I think that the guy that gets frozen in Sub-Zero's actor doubling as the fighter, he was also a Ninja Turtle in the 90s movie. Goro cost $1 million, was difficult to operate. Yeah, I heard that he was hard to.
Never been so close to absolute victory, which is why I've come to warn you that.
Yeah. See, now that's lore from the games, right? Yeah, so they were talking about the lore there, and what I really appreciated as a fan of the games, because Katana and Melina were like the daughters of Shao Kahn, which is kind of like their version of Thanos, and they too also had a rivalry, like Katana and Melina, which didn't really get explored too much in these movies. A little bit in the second one, but there's some really good lore in here, right? It's just like Nebula and Gamora, right, from the MCU. of that, so it is what it is. Just familiar tropes, story elements. Now the masking here of Reptile, because you can't see him there, right? Well, that was good. Yeah, that one still kind of holds up a little bit. I always called this out when I was younger too. Okay, she went that way. But if she went this way, then why are all the cobwebs still up in the way, right? And that's Lyndon Ashby there for you, right? Just kind of like doing that thing in the background. Test your might. And we get a fight sequence. And we get to see Sonya fight here too, right? That was a good kick. That was also a good kick. And they're working together.
Piece of cake, huh?
Well, it was easy for me.
Oh, get over.
Standing? They're not. Yeah, Robin Shou never really made it as an actor, but he was a great stunt coordinator. Yeah, he was. I heard that when he came onto this project, he really ramped up these fight sequences, right? Like the jumping off the walls and stuff like that. For Liu Kang, Robin Shou is the guy who plays Liu Kang. God, those guys are beefy. You definitely found some beefy guys to be the henchmen, right? Sorry, I haven't been giving you guys timestamps at all, have I? I'm terrible here. I've just been totally enthralled in this. God, we're coming up on 40 minutes already. So there's just like an hour left in this? Just over an hour left.
Vanquished warriors. To fight Shang Tsung.
Just to
To
face
face not one,
but a
but a
legion.
legion of adversaries. Remember that.
And I'm sure just for budget reasons, they kind of glossed over that, right? That he could change into a whole bunch of fighters during the fight. And because of budgetary reasons, I'm sure that's why we get this fight. Because why wouldn't he be fighting somebody that we know from the games, right?
Who will be first?
Let Mortal Kombat begin.
We still don't know all the rules yet, right? Now this guy does an okay job as a fighter, but it's just kind of like, why isn't this somebody that we know? Like, I don't know why they weren't allowed to use somebody that they knew. Maybe it was because they couldn't get the costuming or something. This movie made a lot of money. It was a pity that Annihilation sequel wasn't as good. They should have reinvested, yeah. And I like the little warm-ups that they do before the fight. Like, as I said, like even with the Sub-Zero one, when he's doing all the stretching and stuff like that, the way that these two guys did their little warm-ups too. I think Katana's is probably my favorite. She does kind of like a weird little dance kind of thing. It is curious, though, that one of our first fights in the actual tournament is with staffs and not hand-to-hand, right? Well, I guess it sort of morphs into hand-to-hand. So that was supposed to signify that it cracked his chest. Finish him. Yeah. No, he didn't say it here. I thought he said finish him. Your soul is mine. Yeah, because I thought here would have been a good place to explain that you have to fight to the death for Mortal Kombat to be
Fatality.
Kosher, right? Followed by the rules. Oh, this is our Kano Sonya Blade fight. I like that. Punch with the backhand. Here he comes. Look at that. He even shaved his chest hair to make it look like from the game, right? He's got the knife.
Doesn't it?
What, you used it to knife your mother in the back?
Nah.
No.
Ear. To ear.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Now this is where the one from the modern version of it did a better job with the fights, right? She did okay, though. As I said, remember, she came on late to this production. Damn. So Shang Tsung was rooting for her.
Oh, give me a break.
Right.
Okay.
You hear the crunching there, the breaking of the neck. We didn't dwell on it. We're right into the next fight. One of my favorite fights in the movie, actually. Because of Scorpion. Yeah, as I said, the location scouting. They found I think I heard they were just driving by this forest and they saw this and they were like, we have to shoot here. We have to shoot here. Because I think originally the entire fight took place in Scorpion's subterranean realm. Well, that's a good shot. Yeah. I'm surprised Kano didn't throw sand in her face. Yeah, I'm surprised too. They didn't drag out that fight, right? Because I think they wanted to give more time to this one, which is really cool. Yeah. And it's like, there's my chance. And they just warp that's one of Scorpion's powers, which they didn't do in the newer version, did they? Well, that's why that fight didn't last that long there in the trees.
Welcome.
Yeah. I like the guitar. And I really appreciate these wider, long shots of them actually throwing legs and arms at each other, right? Because you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. It's not all these quick cuts. So, would you say that Scorpion is pretty much owning him here, right? Like he is better than Johnny Cage? Yeah, can't imagine having to do this fight take after take. Yeah, and they're just like on a small platform there. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, a little bit of a skip there in the stream. My apologies. Now that move that Johnny just did there, lifting himself up from behind there, that's a lot of strength. He's lucky he didn't get him impaled by anything there. But I like how they did try to give us the bone pit, right? And the skull, the fatality attempt. cool, man. Chopped his head off. And of course, you gotta love the friendship here at the end, right? To my greatest fan, Johnny Cage. That's just for us fans, though, right? That was what a great sequence. Lots of fun. So now we get a Katana Liu Kang fight, and it's just going in. Yeah, so that's like 3 fights in a row now that we're getting. Awesome. Like, how could you not love this, right? Of course, Chu Shang Tsung said, keep Katana away from Liu Kang, and what does he do? He posts a fight against her. It's like, Shang Tsung, do you know what you want? Okay, so I'm going to get the wide shot here of Katana doing her moves. Because I love it. Yeah. It's just like a quick little step in the moving of the hands. I just love it.
If you won't fight with all of your...
And what makes it weird about this fight is that if it was truly Mortal Kombat, one of them should die here, right? Win your next match. You did it to yourself, Shang Tsung. Why would you pit them against each other, right? And now this is the 4th fight. Sub-Zero versus Liu Kang. I think this will probably be my 2nd favorite fight. I don't know, I kind of like the reptile fight too, though. It's just so cool to see Sub-Zero. Those steps that he's coming down are pretty steep. Cool. Yeah. We're on. Again, we get to see the action, right? It's not all these quick cuts. Windmill kick. That was a really difficult forward flip. Yeah, the jumping off the walls and stuff definitely adds that extra element. So short, though, I guess. Why would you just let him stand there and do this, though? Attack him. That's what I would be doing. I'd be... And there just happens to be some water there. I guess maybe this one's a little bit hokey. Yeah, so that was a lot of fights in a row. Now it's Goro's turn.
Yes. We've let these humans win enough.
Now, we don't actually get to see Goro fight here to start, right? We just see him kicking a whole bunch of butt. Taking care of the small fry. Now, one thing that the movies haven't done, in this one and in the newer one, they haven't made Goro scary like he was in the game, right? You were scared of him pouncing down from above. That's an okay shot. Like, the animatronics did work for like the few establishing shots, but once you get into the nuances of the face and stuff, art. He's like, what the? Goro, he gloats too much. You know, he's overconfident. And that's how Johnny Cage beats him, right? Because look at all the timeouts he's taken to say, yeah, I hit you. You have to fight 4 arms. Yeah. Finish him. And now, why did Sonya not like it so much, though? Why was she upset about it? At least Johnny had an interaction with him, right? They knew each other.
Flawless victory. You're so...
Was it really flawless, though? Yeah. All right, timestamp. An hour. Wow. Sorry, guys. I've just really been sucked into this movie. An hour long. And that's how quickly it goes, too.
So you'll rush into any fight just to prove you're not.
I hope they explore that too in the sequel, because we're going to get Johnny in the sequel of the new one. That he's brave, that he wants to show off that he can fight.
To trust.
Why are you whispering into her ear like that, Raiden? It's a little bit creepy, isn't it?
What about me?
Oh, you.
Despair. Yeah, it is. Definitely dangerous. More Elf. So we're in a small lull in the film. A lull means that we just got some exposition, or people are trying to internalize what the consequences of the situation are going to be. Oh, look at that hair. I don't know if that was extensions. It must have been extensions in there, right? Did he actually grow his hair like that?
If I don't, then he'll finish us off one at a time. What happened to you?
So he's trying to protect her.
Not to you. Yeah, well, you forgot good looking.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of like Han Solo in Johnny Cage, right?
I see. You're very foolish.
Yeah.
As absurd as your request is, I shall grant it.
Oh, see how he just take that in?
Needed by me for the final battle of the time.
Or another. Yeah. Too late.
The rules are quite clear.
This is our tournament, remember? Mortal Kombat.
He's... Yeah.
At last, one of them is understood.
He was a little bit amused by that too, though, I guess, right? Raiden was? Rawr. God, the guy who ever did that RAR must have needed a lozenge after doing that one, right? I mean, you can train your voice to do that, but mine would be wrecked. Rawr. Oh, there we go. With the glasses. Oh, he's going to try to meet his... his ego against one ego, right? Because he knows that Goro is a big ego. So he's going to try to throw shade at him by saying, well, here's my ego too.
You immortal will be no problem.
Let's dance. Yeah, this is it. Oh, I missed it. I missed it. I saw it here, but I wanted to capture it for you guys. The splits, because that's what Johnny does in the game. He split there. I think this was a shot from one of the original trailers, right? Where we just see Goro's arms come up like that. And we got a digital mat. I'll try to get this line at least.
Those were $500 sunglasses, asshole. Is where you fall down.
Yeah, that one. That one's a little bit okay. But it starts. We know what happened to Goro. Starts into our third act here.
Challenge! I challenge!
Okay, so that was his plan. That's why he needed Sonya, because he felt like he could always beat Sonya.
Empress Castle in the wastelands of Atlantis.
To the Emperor's Castle. Oh. Okay, so, yeah. I guess I just never thought about it like that. Out of all the times that I've seen this film, I just never thought about that he felt that he could beat Sonya. That's why he took her. I just figured he took her because out of the three that... But I'm just trying to tie it into where he was talking about his instructions to Kano earlier in the film, right? Because he didn't want Kano to beat her. Because he wanted to use her for this purpose. Some things, some details when you watch a movie, they just elude you, right? It's there, you just don't really acknowledge it to its full extent.
But I'm fine.
This is not good.
I can deal with this.
You're going to have to. for the tower. I like how they at least try to work in the tower that you see in the games, because when you take, what is it, one-player mode in the game, you have to fight up the tower, right? And each... Oh, that's kind of morbid. Yeah.
I hate it. I'm in a hostile environment. People who probably want to kick my ass. It's like being back in high school.
Reptile. Now, do you see him there? I like how they explain how he gets his body to fight. Yeah, now those effects, yeah, that doesn't look so good. It's all about lighting. They didn't know how to light back then. To use lighting from the sets, right? And have that big kind of reflective ball. Reptile. Now it's kind of weird here that Johnny just kind of disappears, right? He saw this guy, Reptile, kick Liu Kang through the wall. You think he would help him? Good song. Yeah. Johnny Cage should be kept with a tough, similar comic vibe in the new Mortal Kombat sequel. I think so too. I hope they do. Again, with the wide shot so we can see things. Yeah, I like that shot. I can't use a lot of the audio here, guys, because of the song going on in the background. That one was cool. Yeah, grab him, throw him, use his momentum against him. Is this a bicycle kick? I'll get this bicycle kick for you guys. Yeah, you're done. There we go. Yeah. So they tried it. They did it. Now, did that fight do anything for the end of the movie or like help the scope of the movie or anything? No. Like they could have cut this part out. But they did it for the fans. Like that's fan service, right? That's fan service done in the right way. What's he learning? What did he learn from that? To finish him?
The same thing that will happen to your world. and adopted me to lay claim to the throne.
So Katana's been around for a long time. Her parents were the rulers first.
Three challenges.
3 challenges.
You must face your enemy. You must face yourself. And you must face your worst fear.
Okay, so that's some information that's sort of kind of like the last round when you're fighting the in the game. You have to fight yourself or something like that too, right? Sonya all tied up. And I think that's a nod to the second game. Or isn't she? She's tied up in the back of the second game, right? With Kano? Who are these monks? Who are these disciples? Why are they there? Well, we have to get Johnny and Liu Kang in there somehow. Now, this set is actually fairly impressive. Yeah, with the floor symbol of Mortal Kombat. She has to accept the challenge, though, right?
Son, I'm not playing your game. My friends will come.
Mortal Kombat cannot be won by treachery.
By treachery.
Speak to me of treachery. I challenge you.
Liu Kang. But that's what he wanted.
Liu Kang, descendant of Kung Lao.
Yeah. They are giant Jawas. The monks.
Impudent mortal myself.
Impudent. When I saw that in the movie, somebody was like, impotent. How did he know that? It's impudent, not impotent. Johnny, he tries to take a sneak peek. It is a good set, though, right? Very weird opening up with throwing your back to him first, there, Shang Tsung. Sorry, when does this fight come in? I haven't been doing a good job with timestamps. An hour and 24 minutes. I thought this was an hour and 40 minutes, though. If this is an hour and 22 minutes, then... Well, I guess it's an hour and 40 minutes with credits. Sorry. Don't let him cast it, then. Attack him. That was kind of creepy, though.
Face your enemy.
Again, I'm guessing that if they had more money, these would be actually more characters that we would recognize instead of like these faceless kind of guys. That guy's into it. He stopped the blade like this. No, I don't think you can actually do that. Didn't they do that on Mythbusters once? They tried to put like a robot to put together his hands so quickly to stop a blade. At least he took care of them quickly.
Liu Kang! I can see into your soul. You will die.
I think that opened up the door for one of the worst lines in the second one, right? When Sindel says it practically the same way. You will die.
Face your worst.
Well, morphing effect was pretty good.
Chan?
It's not him. You just saw him transform. You know that it's not him. Oh. Spikes coming out through the floor just like in the pit. I like when he was like doing both hands for it. Sort of like Optimus Prime. The morphing on the face effect was popular from the Michael Jackson black and white music video, was it? Dun, dun.
I am the chosen one.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. If they could develop the Shang Tsung character a bit more and explore that. You have all these souls, but none of them are yours, kind of thing. We get our first. Oh, he does do a little bit of the fire technique here, but it's just kind of like a flash, right? See what he's doing there? He's hitting with both hands, right? And kind of like a roundhouse kind of move, which I thought was pretty cool. And that was their version of the fire thing, and he gets impaled. I wouldn't really call that flawless, though. Okay. Well, what it just means is that, wouldn't it just mean that they would just restart the tournaments again? Or they said if they lose, then the Emperor wouldn't be able to challenge the Earth realm ever again, right? So some of the nuance of the lore kind of got glossed over really quickly. And Liu Kang sees his brother's soul get free.
One day, we will be reunited.
Hmm. You hear the music in the background too. Slowly starting to bleed into the mix. It's a good choice of song here too at the end, right? And this is it. I can't believe it. I thought it was a little bit longer than this, but I guess not. I like the runtime for this too. You got to applaud the runtime.
I guess you knew it would end this way.
You guys did great.
Yeah. And then, of course, we get our little Emperor. The Emperor. That doesn't look anything like Shang Tsung. I don't know why. Or, sorry, Shao Kahn.
We pathetic fools. I've come for your souls.
I don't think so.
And just like that. That's Mortal Kombat, 1995, guys. Paul Anderson. What did you think about that? That was a lot of fun, right? Good retro movie to throw back to. Guys, if you overthink the plot, for sure, if you overthink it, you'll see like, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why, if Shang Tsung wanted to keep Katana away from Liu Kang, why did they have them fight? But Lyndon Ashby there, as Johnny Cage, was the real standout for sure. He embodied Johnny Cage so perfectly, which is why it kind of sucks that what happened to him in the second version of this. This is like one of the classic cases of, yeah, the first movie had a lower budget, it did well, let's throw more money at it, not know how to use it, and just kind of like populate it with too much characters that have stories going all over the place that don't really make a cohesive kind of narrative, right? Is cohesive? Is that a word? Anyway, yeah. So yeah, it has a great nostalgia value, great cast. It was fun, and that's what this movie was. It was just a whole lot of fun. Now there is no post-credit scene because this was back in the time that they didn't have post-credit scenes. But yeah, that one was a lot of fun. Let me just go and see if we can take a look at the IMDb page here. Let's see if I can pull that up. I just wonder. Look at this. 1995, an hour and 41 minutes here. It says, now I think that was shorter than an hour and 41 minutes, right? Because we started at 11 and it's 11:36 now. So I think that's with credits. Only 5.8 there on the IMDb. It's better than that. It's definitely got, yeah, it's cheesy, but it's fun. John Tobias, Ed Boon were the writers. So the creators of the video games did write this one. Paul W.S. Anderson. Well, you know him from like the Resident Evil movies, right, guys? Christophe Lambert is what he likes to go by. Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa, Shang Tsung. Very iconic. You'll hear that. You must have heard those memes and, the sound bites from him. That was cool. Lyndon Ashby. You said that Lyndon Ashby was still in something recently. Our Last Vikings did in live chat. Let's see what else he's been doing. Look at his resume, because he was our Johnny Cage, right? Oh, he's going to be in the Teen Wolf movie coming out this year. Teen Wolf, and he was in Trust, Purple Hearts, Trinkets. So he's still working. He was the voice of Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 11. Huh. I played Mortal Kombat 10. Mortal Kombat got a little bit ridiculous when it got into like bringing in Rambo and Terminator and RoboCop. Freddy, it got a little bit silly for me. The game, at least. Yeah. Okay, but he's still working. That's cool. Good for him. Excellent. Excellent. Who else was in this? Nobody of standout. Nobody that really stood out here. Okay. Yeah, Trevor Goddard was Kano. And as I said, I think, yeah, 2003 is when he passed on. I think he had something wrong with his heart valve or something like that is what I heard. Yeah. All right. Let's see if the old tomato meter is still up or not working. Is it working? Yeah, there we go. 45% by the critics, 57% by the audience. Now, this is one I thought the audience score would be much higher. But remember, Rotten Tomatoes wasn't around back then, and I'm sure this is back when, well, you didn't have to see the movie before you could rate it, right? This is where it's got 250,000 ratings from audience scores. So yeah, this was back before you had to provide proof that you actually saw it. I wouldn't agree with that. I think the rating would be much higher. 45%. I know the critics weren't nice to it. It's only got 44 reviews in there from the critics. Take a look at one from the Financial Times that says it's too violent for children and too silly for anyone else. Yeah. That's the thing, though. That's the mentality. That's like the old school mentality captured right there. It's too violent for children and too silly for anyone else, which means that they didn't understand video games. Children were playing the video games, and the video games were much more violent than what was in this movie, by far. Now, just as somebody who had no idea of what kind of property they were dealing with here, right? Chicago Tribune says, the only decent video game turned into a movie. Why? Well, that's back in 1995, right? Obviously, because the filmmakers have really tried to offer some eye-popping visuals that can provide the same stimuli as the video game itself. Yeah. A martial arts action adventure with wondrous visual special effects and witty production design, it effectively combines supernatural terror and a mythical slay the dragon, save the princess Odyssey, and even a spiritual quest of self-knowledge. Yeah, I wish they could really tap into that self-knowledge a little bit more, that quest for spiritual enlightenment kind of thing, because it's there. Like, even with Shang Tsung saying that, he's got all these souls, but there's not really one for himself. If they could expand on that a little bit more, and that would really develop his character a lot more, I would think. Because Shang Tsung was kind of a background character in the remake. I hope to see him a lot more in the sequel that comes out. And I hope to see a lot more of Johnny Cage in this one. Johnny Cage, and his interactions with Liu Kang and Sonya Blade, they were the Trinity, right? And those are the characters that we want to see. We don't want to see Cole Young, right? We want to see those three. So take notes there, people. Like a Mortal Kombat movie, it's not a hard concept. And if they remade it with updated visual effects for Reptile, well, they did sort of have reptilian monsters in the remake, didn't they? Or sorry, in the newer version. It was a different. It wasn't the reptile that we know. It was a reptile of the same species that Kano ripped the heart out of. But good movie, guys. If you guys like this retro stuff, we're going to be doing it every Thursdays, but it's going to be more in the afternoon. I think I'm going to save it for more of the afternoon, and I'll take care of the morning stuff. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm still adjusting the schedules because in the afternoon here at 1 o'clock, we'll go live again. We'll just talk about some of the quick movie news headlines very quickly, though, because I do want to do some shorts and stuff. Because I want to make sure that all the audience gets appeased. But mostly we do a movie news show Mondays and Fridays, guys, at 11 a.m., 10 a.m. on Fridays. So tomorrow, movie news will be at 10 a.m. It'll be a long show because we'll be covering stuff from the entire week. I don't want to make sure that we got enough time to go through all the stuff. I'm just like, how is that going to be on my voice? Well, we just talked and we watched Mortal Kombat for 2 hours, so why can't I do a 2-hour show of movie news stuff? That's why I can. I can. So that's what will happen. If you are curious about these watch-alongs, what else can you find here on the channel aside of these retro trailer or retro movie reactions? We do series reactions for things like, well, The Last of Us. We're watching that one right now. We watch full movies, as you can see, for things on Netflix like Jung-E, a foreign film, a Korean foreign film. We just watched Duel yesterday with Karen Gillan. Today we watched Mortal Kombat. We watched The Pale Blue Eye, Emily the Criminal. The Man in the Moon was last week's retro movie. We watch horror movies on the weekend called The Innocents. And we do a Horror Weekly Roundup show where we talk about all the trending movie news, horror movie news headlines. And then, Monday and Friday we do normal movie news headlines. This week we have a poll up on the channel right now in the community tab for the horror movie that we'll be watching this weekend. And right now, as of right now, Last Night in Soho is winning over Candyman. So this Saturday at 1 p.m. we're probably going to be watching Last Night in Soho. Even though it's not really a horror movie. It was billed as one. It was marketed as one. It's just, it's a movie that I really caught on to Thomas and Mackenzie, and I wanted to revisit it. Of course, it has Anya Taylor-Joy, and it's got Matt Smith, Damon. Yeah, from House of the Dragon. So we'll be looking at that movie coming this weekend. By the sounds of it, by all the votes that have come in, it's winning. So, yeah. And next week, I'll put up the poll later on this afternoon for next week's retro movie. Your choices are either going to be Universal Soldier with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren, the original Candyman, or Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Those will be your 3 choices for next Thursday's retro movie reaction, unless somebody else has a stronger recommendation that tickles my fancy. But for the most part, I'll give you guys that choice. Those 3. That'll be up in the community tab later on today. If not, I'll see you guys next time. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe. You're watching Mirror Domains.